Act 1. The Efficiency Trap. Let's talk about Inbox Zero, that mythical state we all secretly chase. You know the feeling. You spend a frantic Tuesday morning sorting folders and firing off replies. Finally, the screen is empty. For a fleeting, glorious second, you feel entirely in control of your universe. Then reality hits. The universe doesn't hand you a medal. It just hands you more emails. Getting highly efficient at answering messages mostly just ensures you receive more of them. It's a cruel joke. We keep thinking that if we can just find the perfect time management app or wake up at 5 a.m., we will eventually reach this oasis of calm where everything is finally done. We treat the day like a conveyor belt, figuring that if we just pack the boxes faster, we'll eventually clear the backlog. But here is an uncomfortable truth about this entire approach. Productivity is a trap. Becoming more efficient just makes you more rushed, and trying to clear the decks simply makes them fill up again faster. Think about it. Every time you rapidly reply to an email, you are practically guaranteeing a reply to that reply. It sets off a chain reaction that continues until the heat death of the universe. The harder we work to get on top of everything, the more we become a limitless reservoir for other people's expectations. We are literally generating the very busyness we are trying to escape. There is a fantastic, highly natural English idiom buried in that idea. Clear the decks. It originally comes from Navy ships preparing for battle. Sailors had to move all the ropes and clutter off the deck so the cannons could fire without obstruction. Today, when we say we need to clear the decks, we mean getting all the minor chores and nagging little tasks out of the way so we can finally focus on the big, important work. Imagine you've got a massive presentation due on Friday, but your desk is a mess and you have 5 tiny administrative emails to answer. You might say to a colleague, "I just need to clear the decks before I can focus on this new project." But the dark irony of the efficiency trap is that the decks never stay clear. You spend your whole day clearing the small stuff, and the moment for the big, meaningful project never actually arrives. So, if being more efficient isn't the way out of our exhaustion, what is? Act 2. High-quality procrastination. If clearing the decks simply brings more decks to clear, we are left staring at an uncomfortable truth. We have to let go of the fantasy that we can have it all. We all harbor this exhausting delusion that if we just hustle a little harder, we can simultaneously be the employee of the year, the endlessly patient partner, cook organic meals from scratch every night, hit the gym 3 times a week, and learn conversational French on the morning commute. It's a nice daydream, but keeping all those balls in the air never actually works. We just end up doing a mediocre, stressed-out job at the things that matter most, while feeling perpetually guilty about the rest. The alternative is surprisingly liberating. We have to learn to be excellent procrastinators. Procrastination gets a bad rap, but you are always going to be procrastinating on something anyway. The trick isn't to eradicate it, but to choose exactly what you are going to neglect. Put more bluntly, we need to decide in advance what to fail at. That sounds terrifying, but there is a massive relief in consciously choosing your sacrifices. A cluttered kitchen or a neglected inbox stings a lot less when you have actively decided, I am going to absolutely bomb at kitchen maintenance this month because I am focusing entirely on this new project. It removes the shame. Consider this idea. You need to learn how to start saying no to things you do want to do, with the recognition that you have only one life. Look at the specific English phrasing there, with the recognition that it's a high-level alternative to a simple word like because. It doesn't just give a reason. It carries the emotional weight of someone who has finally accepted a hard, sobering truth. It implies a sense of clarity and peace. Imagine declining a promotion that would double your salary but completely destroy your weekends. You probably wouldn't just say, I'm not taking it because I want free time. To capture the gravity of that choice, you might tell a friend, I turned down the offer with the recognition that my mental health is worth more than a job title. Saying no to things we genuinely hate doing is easy. The real challenge, the one that actually shapes a meaningful life, is finding the courage to say no to the moderately appealing things. The semi-interesting side hustle, the invitation to a decent party, the B-tier priorities. Turning down things we actually want to do forces us out of the fantasy world where our time is infinite. It plants our feet firmly in the messy, limited reality of our 4,000 weeks. And, ironically, that is exactly where life finally starts to feel real. Act 3. Cosmic Insignificance Therapy. So we've accepted a bit of intentional failure in the minor things, but what about the big picture? Every so often, usually around 2 a.m., a different kind of panic sets in. We stare at the ceiling, exhausted from a day of emails and chores, and wonder if this is it. Does any of it actually matter? We carry around this heavy expectation that we are supposed to do something truly remarkable with our lives. We feel pressured to leave a legacy, or, as the Silicon Valley mantra goes, to put a dent in the universe. Let's try zooming out. If you visualize human history as a chain of 100-year-old people standing hand in hand, the Renaissance was only 7 lifetimes ago. The golden age of the Egyptian pharaohs was just 35 lifetimes back. On a cosmic scale, human history hasn't unfolded like a slow-moving glacier. It has flashed by in the blink of an eye. This brings us to a liberating, if slightly brutal, reality check. When it comes to how you're using your finite time, the universe absolutely could not care less. Look at that specific phrase, could not care less. It's a brilliant piece of everyday English. A lot of people mistakenly say, I could care less, but the original, correct version carries so much more dramatic weight. It means your level of caring has already hit rock bottom. It is mathematically impossible to care any less than you currently do. Imagine you're venting about a petty office drama and you realize your cat is just staring blankly at the wall. You'd probably say, my cat absolutely could not care less about my bad mood. Honestly, the universe treats our ambitions exactly like that cat. But the funny thing is, this isn't depressing at all. It's an incredible relief. It's a kind of cosmic insignificance therapy. The moment you realize your life is just a minuscule flicker in the grand scheme of things, you get to drop the crushing burden of needing to be universally significant. When we set the bar for a meaningful life impossibly high, demanding that we become the next Einstein or Tolstoy, we accidentally devalue the ordinary things we are actually doing. Once you accept that the cosmos isn't watching, you are suddenly free. You are free to write a mediocre novel that only entertains a few friends. You are free to spend a Sunday baking a slightly burnt loaf of bread, or to simply be a decent neighbor. You realize that you never had to earn your right to exist on this planet by doing something world-changing. The privilege of being here. We spend so much of our lives treating the present moment as just a stepping stone to somewhere else. We operate with this exhausting, perpetually dissatisfied when I finally mindset. If we're brutally honest, we constantly tell ourselves, when I finally clear this backlog, when I finally survive this grueling week, when I finally find the right partner, then I can relax. Then my real life will actually begin. We treat our days like a dress rehearsal for some calm, fully optimized future. But the hardest truth to swallow is that this imaginary future is never, ever going to arrive. A radical shift happens when we stop trying to master our schedules. We realize that we don't actually hold time in our pockets like a coin to be spent or saved. We are time. Every moment we're alive is just a fleeting intersection of space and time. We can't hoard it, and we certainly can't control it. When we let go of the exhausting fantasy that we will one day be perfectly organized and in total command of our destiny, what actually happens? We are left with a surprisingly simple reality. And in exchange for accepting all that, you get to actually be here. Let's take a magnifying glass to those words, get to. It is a remarkably elegant piece of everyday English. We spend so much of our lives relying on the phrase have to. I have to finish this report. I have to do the laundry. I have to survive this chaotic Tuesday. But substituting have to with get to completely shifts the emotional gravity of a sentence. It takes something that feels like a draining obligation and reframes it as a privilege. Imagine you are exhausted on a Friday evening, getting ready to make a meal for your family. Instead of sighing, I have to cook dinner, try telling yourself, I get to cook dinner. You are alive, you have people to feed, and you have a small window of time to actually experience it. Our 4,000 weeks aren't a puzzle to be solved or a conveyor belt we need to outrun. They are simply the space we are invited to exist in. So maybe leave the dishes in the sink tonight. Let a few of those minor emails go unanswered. Step out of the waiting room of the future. Drop the productivity armor and come join the rest of us here in the messy, finite present.